Hey, folks, this is Rabble Rousing Rich Bergeron.
Ladies and gentlemen, the tornadoes.
And Psychic Tom Paget with the shiny crystal ball.
Oh, Tom.
Hey, Rich, can I ask a real dumb question to start the show?
Go ahead.
Well, kind of based off what we were talking about before we got on the air. Do we have a big audience present in Japan?
We could. I could target Japan with my.
Well, I think we should. I mean, now that I'm a cultural icon in Japan, I think we should.
Yeah, I heard you're having dinner with the Emperor next week. No, is there an Emperor?
You know what? I dropped the ball.
President.
I really dropped the ball. I could have gotten because my dad has really been getting into Don't Laugh, Man. He was watching a documentary on sumo wrestling one time, and he's like, I just thought it was two big guys like slamming into each other and just like belly bumping. He goes, those guys are like intense. I mean, he goes, that's vicious shit. I'm like, he's like, damn, I never knew it was like. He's like, no, my dad is like, I'd love to go to a sumo match. I'm like, but I don't think you'll ever find that in the States, ever. Because they have it, and I think they might sell 100 tickets, if that.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to Japan, Pop, to go to sumo wrestling live.
And sometimes it's actually not the huge guys that are really that are only the ones that are good at it. You know, some of the smaller guys too.
Right.
Fucking vicious.
And yeah, you're right, because it's like, you get a lot of these guys, and it's like, some of them are, I mean, not big. We have a guy actually, because there was an article in about maybe 10, 15 years ago in the Philadelphia paper, because he was a New Jersey guy, but he was actually living and over in Japan, and he was competing as a sumo, and he was 6'8", 726 pounds. His nickname, of course, was Tiny, and so they were obviously, like talking to him, and they said, "Is there anybody on the Eagles that you think could make a good sumo wrestler?" And at the time, we had a left tackle that was about 6'7", 6'8", and about 335, 340. He goes, yeah, Troy Thomas. He could. He's got the size where if he bulked up from 340 some pounds, he has the potential to be a good sumo.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. If you get some of these guys, like you'll see, like certain guys. One guy was actually a Polynesian professional WWF wrestler, and he was only about 275. And he actually, they called it King Tonga. Then they changed his name to Haku, but they said he was actually a professional sumo wrestler in Japan. And like I said, he was like 275 and was not fat. He was just thick.
Right. Well then, he was just big boned, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, we got a lot of stuff to cover. Crazy coincidence this weekend. So I go to do my lineups. I'm a little bit late Saturday morning. I roll out of bed. I'm like, oh geez, I forgot to do my lineups. So we go on there and DraftKings and FanDuel. And I had once I started doing the lineups, I looked and it was like the cutoff time was like 10 minutes away. So I only had a chance to do 2 lineups, one on DraftKings and one on FanDuel. And both of them, I picked every single fighter that got a win in the first round, except I went against my own advice last week on the show, and I picked Rosenstruck because he was a little cheaper on the DraftKings. So I went with Almeida, only one who escaped the first round. He went to the third round, but it was 102 points on DraftKings. Silva, he was 104 points. A couple Brazilians there. That was my Brazilian duo. Menafield got first round win, knockout, I believe. That was the big point scorer on my team, 122. And then Odie, I went for Odie. Odie screwed me the last time. I was like, Odie's going to come through for me. So Odie came through on FanDuel too. I don't have the FanDuel up in front of me, but that one was, I think I had a decision on that one too. But These were all first round knockouts up until the main event. I also had Tony Gravely. And if I had Volkanov, I wouldn't have won, but I would have had like $600 minimum. But I came in 2,245th place and won like $40 on that one. But Rosenstruck, after getting straight hundreds all the way, my number one guy got me 2 points, 2.4 points. Oh, that just totally ruined me. I was so pissed. And then I went to go see Top Gun because the fights ended early.
What'd you think?
I wasn't that impressed, you know. There was some very good scenes. Obviously, they worked with the Navy and stuff, but I just thought it was a very basic plot and, like, you know, it was just too clean. Everything was too clean. Nobody, like, really died. The only people that died were, like, the people in the helicopter that got blown to smithereens. Like, there was not a single, like, drop of blood.
Admiral.
The Admiral? Oh, yeah. Well, that was like a fake death. You didn't see it. I'm talking like combat death.
You know what? I didn't realize that Val Kilmer doesn't have a voice anymore.
Yeah, I found that out before I saw it. They did like a thing on. It was going around Facebook that I saw, and it was just like all about how he has like. I don't think he has one of them speakers where he puts the thing up to it, but he has like a hole in his throat.
No, I don't think he does either.
And he has to
whisper. Like a computer generated to actually generate his voice.
And they used his son, and supposedly previous acting roles. They said all together, but he spoke like 3 lines, so I don't know what they're talking about. He must have had other lines that they cut. That's why they did all the texting. Because of his voice.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of stupid too. Like, I was like, oh, what are we going to watch him text for fucking 10 minutes? Because they had that all out of order. Like, you know, because he was texting him before we even knew he was sick. Like, they didn't tell us he was sick until, like, he met the dude. Like, so that was all out of order.
He gets there and he's like, yeah. He goes, yeah. And then his wife's like, yeah, the cancer's back. And I'm like, oh, shit.
Yeah. So, yeah. I don't know. It was good. It was good, you know, for them being so long away from it. But I thought it was funny. There's a lawsuit now. Did you hear about that?
No.
The copyright owner said that, you know, they released it after the copyright had expired that they got. So, you know, it goes back to him, the original guy that wrote the story or something in the magazine. I forget who exactly sued, but it all came off a magazine story, apparently. And the first one. And they had it like on a 30-year copyright. And originally it was supposed to come out before COVID. But since it came out after COVID, they supposedly violated the copyright. So, man, that's gonna be crazy. Probably going to be a settlement. So, big case. But anyway, yeah, I came close to the money. Did not get there, but being on the clock, that's pretty damn good. 5 out of 6 solid winners by stoppage. No decisions up until that main event. Loss. And the ironic thing is, I stayed away from Movsar Evloev because I thought he was going to have a decision. And that was not going to be good for my lineups. But guess what? Movsar Evloev beating the shit out of Dan Ide so badly that I wished that Dan Ide's corner would throw the towel in. Movsar Evloev outscored everybody on the entire card, I believe. In 3 rounds. In a 3-round fight. I have never seen that. Never. Extended his unbeaten streak and looked very dominant. I just I don't know, he's just kind of slipping. He used to just be a real big heavy hitter. We were right about the main event. Both of us picked Volkov last week. It went down sort of as planned. If the Rosenstrike that was too nonchalant showed up, and that's what happened. He had no answer. Volkov is turning into a little bit more than a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Yeah, and like that's a good way to describe Rosenstruck. Just nothing, going through the motions sometimes. Yeah.
Alright,
what it looked like.
Payday. He's so low key too, even in interviews. He's just like really quiet. It's crazy. Right. So Volkov obviously looked good, but I think it was more so that Rosenstruck was not in attack mode. Like, he's just such a heavy guy, and being a heavyweight, period, like, you don't want to let a guy like Volkov get his distance and start working. You just want to, like, bulldoze him over. And I just feel like Rosenstruck just only has that when he absolutely needs it. He doesn't sit there and like try to slug with people. He just tries to like tactically figure something out when he's not built for tactical. He's built for mauling people, and I don't know. I just think he needs to do a tornado move and just come in and just bulldoze people like a Volkov. You know, take his legs out from underneath him, like, work for it. And he just seemed like, all right, I'm just gonna walk around the cage today and slap him a couple times, you know. And it'd be one thing if this was the only fight he did it, but there's been a couple of them where he just doesn't act like a fighter. He acts like he's just like, all right, well, we're out here training today, going for a walk in the park. So I don't know. I don't know what he needs to do, but he's got some work to do. Then Michael Trezano against Lucas Almeida. Geez, why did I not update it? On that one, there we go. That was a TKO by Volkov, by the way. Lucas Almeida TKO'd Michael Trezano. I kind of knew that was coming. That was one of my guys that I picked. Just because Trezano didn't really have a lot of UFC experience. And so I kind of gambled on that one. That was the only one that went out of the first round that I picked. But. And Karine Silva, she was straight undefeated. Botello had some difficulties in her last 3 or 4 fights. She was up and down. So, and then Silva had all these submissions too. So I knew that was going to be a good likelihood of ending early, so got her. And Odie 1 minute and 1 second KO'd Zaruk Adashev. So that was a good pick for me. And Alonzo Menifield over Askar Mozarov. That was a TKO from elbows, 4 minutes and 40 seconds in. And I really analyzed that one. Askar Mozarov is like somebody that's fought in a different league, and literally, like, if he does not get out of the first round, if he gets out of the first round, he's losing, I should say. So, he is like a guy that gets a lot of kick knockouts, and so I pretty much was convinced that Menifield was going to handle him, and he did. He got him with the elbows, 4 minutes and 40 seconds in, so that was a good pick. Herrig versus Kowalkiewicz. I looked; they had a split decision before, so I said, "Yeah, that's going to be a decision." Turned out to be a submission, but was not a big point scorer. Herrig retired after the fight too. Good luck, George. Probably be better off with the bare knuckle stuff. She's done a little bit of that. Joe Solecki got a majority decision win over Alex da Silva Coelho. I stayed away from that one. Damon Jackson over Dan Argueta. Also stayed away from that one. That was a unanimous decision win for Damon. Benoit St. Denis over Nicholas Stoltz. That was rear naked choke submission. 1 minute and 32 seconds into round number 2. Did not pick that one either. Did pick Tony Gravely. He was I think number 3 as far as points scored in previous lineups for people. Average of over 100, so he's usually going to get the stoppage, and it was no exception with Johnny Munoz. It was just a minute and 8 seconds into that one. So that one started off my streak. I didn't pick any of the earlier guys. They all were, there was a couple by decision. Then we had the first fight of the night, Aaron Blanchfield over J.J. Aldrich. That was a guillotine choke submission. Sad. If I had picked Aaron Blanchfield, I probably would have been first place instead of Rosenstruck. You'd never think that Aaron Blanchfield would have a better stoppage chance than Rosenstruck. But she did. Second fight of the night, Reinhard Fakhretdinov. I don't know how they pronounce that guy's name right, but he beat Andres Michailidis. That was a long, ugly, brutal fight. Michailidis is just I don't know. That was a tough one for me to watch because I saw the highlights going in, and he's throwing these hooks with like hammer fists instead of turning them around like real hooks, like boxing hooks, And he's just way too tall. So Fakhretdinov just basically wrestled the crap out of him, and couldn't finish him, but was hitting him with some vicious stuff. He was stumbling around the cage a couple times. Michailidis, he didn't think he was going to make the round, and he just did. Kept coming in, kept weathering the storm, and Fakhretdinov just basically won with his wrestling. It was it was his debut too, and he was unstoppable up until then. Get a lot of knockouts. And Jeff Molina after that got the split decision win over Zhalgas Zhumagulov. Stayed away from that one too. So I'm getting the hang of it. I went for a gamble. And it was only because of the first round knockouts that my boy had. Didn't turn out to be my boy. Should have known better. Followed my own advice, Tom. I told everybody that Volkov was going to win, and then I picked against him. Anyway, hopefully we'll do better this week. Get to that. This week, we have the fights in Singapore, so I might have to do those tonight to make sure I get ahead of that. Who knows what time they're going to be. Last week it was weird because they were in Vegas, and they started at 1. It was I didn't even know what time they were going to start, but I figured if there was going to be fights, there's going to be a, Saturday night. Nope. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. So, that was kind of a treat. Anyway, big one this weekend. Light heavyweights, Glover Teixeira and Jiri Prochazka. Jerry's just a weird fighter. Weird, crazy, unorthodox fighter. 28-3-1, and Glover Teixeira is 33-7, fresh off winning the belt, and this is going to be in Singapore, so I don't know what time of day it's going to be. Co-main event is a title as well, or title fight. Valentina Shevchenko and Taila Santos. It's going to be a big one because Santos just got the 1 loss, and Shevchenko, she's got the 3 losses, but they're to the top girl in the divisions she's fought it. So that's going to be a tough test, but she's convinced. Shevchenko thinks she's just going to dominate Santos from what I've read, so we'll find out. We'll find out. Strawweights in the Coco main event, I guess you could call it, and it's a title eliminator, I believe. Weili Zhang, who is 21-3, fighting Joanna Jedrzejczyk, who is 16-4. And those girls can fight. This is a rematch, I believe, too, of Fight of the Year before. So, grudge match here. Then we got Rogerio Bontorin, 16-4, fighting Manel Cape, who is 17-6. Jack Della Maddalena, 11-2 at welterweight, fighting Ramazan Emaev, who is 20-5. Brendan Allen, 18-5, fighting Jacob Malkoun, who's just 6-1. That would seem like a mismatch to me, but I'll have to look at Jacob's record there. A lot of Asian fighters on this card. Sixth fight of the night is Sung Woo Choi at featherweight, fighting Joshua Kulibayo. Then we got Maheshet Haizire. Definitely butchering that one. He is 6-1 at lightweight, fighting Steve Garcia, who is 12-4. We got Andre Fiallo, 16-4, fighting Jake Matthews, 17-5 at welterweight. Kyung Ho Kang, 17-9 at bantamweight, fighting Bajral Dana, who is 12-3. And then Na Liang, 19-5, fighting Silviana Gomez Juarez. That's a female fight at strawweight. And then leading off tonight, we got Ramona Pascual, 6-3, fighting Jocelyn Edwards, who's 10-4 at featherweight. So what do you think, Prochaska or Teixeira in the main event, Tom?
Well, man, I just keep thinking that it's hard to go against Glover, but I got a feeling that maybe there'll be an upset and a change. And I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, because Glover Teixeira is so inspirational. But, man, you know,
well,
it's going to be a tough challenge.
Fury had a really good performance his last time out, but I just saw a lot of holes in his game, and I thought he got lucky. He got lucky a couple times in that fight. So I'm going to go with Glover. I'm going to say Glover probably wins by either late submission or decision, unanimous decision. He's just going to wear him down.
Yeah, I would like to see him. You know, what's the old cliche? Hey, you're not really the champ till you defend the belt.
Yeah.
You can win it, but you got to defend it. So another fight or two just before he rides off into the sunset would be cool. But I don't know. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think the airtime's afternoon. I think it's going to be an afternoon show.
Yeah, it should be. Prochaska is just so unpredictable. That's the only wild card that I would see him winning. And, he might just do like some spinning crazy whack job kick that just blows Teixeira across the cage. But I imagine Teixeira's got people who can prepare him for anything. But the other thing is Prochaska's like, I think he, doesn't he have that crazy haircut because of his love for Muay Thai? Singapore is going to be like his home country, so he might be all jazzed up because of that. You never know. I think he's got a big kickboxing background, right? Something like that, or Muay Thai.
Yeah.
I forget where he came from, but quite the MMA record, 28-3-1. And I think Shevchenko's right. I think she's going to dominate Santos, but we just saw that big upset a few weeks ago. It's another Brazilian up-and-comer. So, you never know there. Santos has a fighting chance for sure. But Shevchenko is just very few holes in her game. And few people can figure her out. So, Santos is going to have to come with something different. So, I'm going to go with Shevchenko there. What do you think about that one, Tom?
I would agree. Yeah.
And then Zhang Jedrzejczyk, I don't know. That's anybody's fight right there. I would say because Zhang's a little bit closer to home out there, she's going to be the favorite. She's got a little bit more experience too, but Jedrzejczyk is going to want to go in there and spoil her day. So that might be the steal for fight of the night there. That's what I'm going to say. But I don't know. I guess I guess I'll go with home court advantage and say Zhang's probably going to win that one. Second round knockout. I said it. That's it. All right. Oscar De La Hoya in the news. Guess what? This is like probably the worst quote a salesman could have on the record, but this is what they quoted Oscar De La Hoya as saying the other day. I'm sitting on $1 billion company, De La Hoya told ESPN, and I can't wait to get rid of it. Most importantly, I can't wait to be the very first fighter ever to be inducted into the Hall of Fame as a promoter as well. These are goals that I have. So yeah, he obviously is taking care of, or taking notice of the market for everything right now, and wants to take advantage of inflation, I guess, as well. I don't know what the price he's looking for is, but he thinks it's worth $1 billion. So I don't know. Maybe Saudi Arabia will buy it. You know, they got taking all the PGA Tour golfers over there. Have you heard about that one? Saudi Arabian companies.
Yeah, a lot of them are going.
Yeah, paying them millions of dollars. Supposedly they offered Tiger Woods $1 billion. Go sell it to Saudi Arabia. I'm sure, what's his name there? Kinahan. Yeah, you just give him a call. He'll ship that thing right over to Ireland. Golden boy. He's looking for a place to launder his drug money. But if you've got $1 billion lying around, guys, call Oscar. He'll hook you up. He's Golden boy. So I don't know. I don't know if that's an official sales offer or if that's just him talking smack, but or it's he thinks he's going to have the UFC magic, like when they said to Forbes magazine that it was worth $1 billion. And then all of a sudden, Dana White would never put a value on it. He would only say it's worth whatever anyone wants to pay for it. We had some sad boxing news over the weekend. I'm not sure whether the guy died or not. This is a June 7th article, but
He
he
did.
was
Yeah,
definitely in a
did.
coma. It was a South African fight that made viral news, unfortunately, because the guy was so stunned he was boxing air, like a ghost. And then he went into a coma, and he has since died. Samicio Buthelezi. He was in induced coma first, and then died. He was in the final. He was in the final minute of the fight. Oh, jeez, I didn't know that. So a 10-round bout for the WBA Africa lightweight title on Sunday, and he went on the attack, and his opponent stumbled backwards between the ropes. And then he turned his back, and began to shadow box. And then the fight was called off right there. So he was probably winning at that point. I didn't even realize that. Wow, that's crazy.
You know, from watching boxing as many years as I have, sometimes you can see when a fighter is hurt, but like hurt in a fight context. Like, oh, he's hurt right now, he's stunned right now, or you know, he's wobbled right now, or he's down, and you know, and then he gets up, and you can tell, yeah, he may be out on his feet, and a fight may be stopped, but it's of you know, no lasting damage or no serious damage. And then you have other times when you can read a fighter's body language, and you can tell something's seriously wrong, whether you're looking in their eyes and or you're looking the way they're reacting to things. And there's a couple that always stick out to me. One was when Gerald McClellan fought Nigel Benn, and Gerald was winning that fight early, and then Ben was notorious for leading with his head, and he always had a lot of head clashes. And I think there was a clash of heads in there, and then you could see almost after that, McClellan started showing signs of severe fatigue, and he almost couldn't keep his mouthpiece in. His mouthpiece was like hanging out, and and then it was like shortly after the 10th round, he just went to the corner and he just like slumped in the corner. And he's now, as you know, because John Scully does a lot of the benefits for him. I think he's like 85% blind and like 90% deaf. Constant around-the-clock care is needed. Another one, which was just not too long ago, and this was one that I apologize for not remembering the fighter's name off the top of my head, and I don't have my computer in front of me, but it was on ESPN. I think it was in 2019, because I think it was pre-pandemic. And Buddy McGirt was working in the corner. It was a Russian fighter. And the fight was going on back and forth, and then it was like you could see where the Russian fighter was starting to take some punishment, and then Buddy, at the end of the one round, was like, I'm going to stop this fight. I'm going to stop this fight. And the guy was pleading him, no, don't stop the fight. Don't stop the fight. Well, Buddy finally said, no, I'm stopping the fight. And they stopped the fight. And as the Russian fighter was leaving the ring, his one leg started, like, kicking. Just like, almost like, without even thinking of it. It was just like his body was reacting to something, and he was just, like, throwing, like, these kicks. So they wheeled out a stretcher, and they put him on it. And then next thing you know, within a few days, he was gone. Those are a couple of ones I remember. There was another fight that we were watching one time. We had gone to, it was a sports bar not far from where I lived, because we were hoping that, I think this was 20 years ago, they were going to show like a Mike Tyson fight. I don't even remember who he was fighting. We were hoping they were going to show Mike. I think it was when he fought Orlin Norris. And we were going to go watch him fight. No, it was a Polish guy, Andrew Galata. We were going to go watch him fight Andrew Galata. So we go to the sports bar, hoping they were going to show this Tyson Galata fight on pay-per-view. And we got there, and the guy goes, "No, we're not getting this fight. It would cost us like $5,000, and we're not ordering it." We're like, "Well, okay, fuck you then." But hey, there's an ESPN fight on. We're going to watch the ESPN fight. And there was an Italian kid named Bobby Tomasello. I'll never forget him. And he's fighting. And you could see over the second half of the fight, he was really starting to labor bad. And they should have never let him out for the 8th, 9th, or 10th rounds. But they did. And those 3 rounds, he took, a tremendous beating. And the first thing I remember is when they went to the decision was Bobby Tomasello lost his fight. They called it a draw. And everybody, "Oh, that draw, it's a bullshit call, it's a bullshit call." And as you're looking at, like, everybody's complaining about this, this decision, because obviously the other guy should have got it. You see Tomasello go down. And you could see, like, in his body language the last 3 rounds that something was seriously wrong. And I remember reading later, it was like something had disconnected in his brain. And the fact that he lasted 3 rounds like that was nothing short of a minor miracle. Then obviously the most famous of the famous was the Dooku Kim. The Dooku Kim was a stance of 1 punch. If you go back and you watch that fight, it was going into the 14th round. That fight was dead even, and both guys were given just as good as they were getting. And when that 14th round started, Mancini just threw 2 punches, boom, boom, stunned him, and then threw another punch. It was no, like, the sustained beating wasn't the effective, just the way that punch just landed was the perfect, sad to say, kill shot.
Yeah. Sometimes that's how it goes.
One more video of the night.
We had some good boxing last week. We briefly touched on it, but Inoue versus Donaire. We had our buddy Iceman John Scully point out that Nonito Donaire was trained for this fight by his wife, who had only
I saw John write that.
Taekwondo experience, and it showed. According to Scully, Inoue destroyed him this go around. It was a lot closer last time.
Yeah, the last time went to decision. Donaire stunned him a few times. But this time, they call the guy the monster for a reason.
Yep. So the monster got a hold of Nonito, and it doesn't look good after him coming back from that. I mean, I'm sure he'll fight again, but yeah. trying to go get titles again. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. See, figures it out. Guy's good. We also had Stephen Fulton. That was the other big name of the Saturday fights. Beating Daniel Roman. That was Saturday. And George Kambosos Jr. got demolished by Devin Haney in his backyard. He really just did not impress me at all. Kambosos was lucky that a single judge scored any of those rounds for him. I just don't know what all the hype was about with that guy. Haney beat him with a jab. And not a particularly good one, just a consistent one. I mean,
I'll tell you, see, here's where sometimes it's called right place, right time. And you can get a fighter on a bad night. You can get a fighter that's at the end of his career, but he's got a big name. And it's being in the right place, right time. George Kambosos Jr. was in the right place, right time against a severely weight-drained Teofimo Lopez. Lopez is a big name, knocking everybody out. You know, he's a bright, shining star. And then you knock him on his ass and out of him over 12 rounds. Oh, my God. Maybe Lopez wasn't so good, or maybe you are spectacular. Right place, right time. And now, then you come to find out, well, he had a real hard time making weight. Maybe he didn't train for this fight. Maybe. And now more of his was Kambosos really good? Or did he just happen to get the luck of the draw against a weight-drained and ill-prepared Teofimo Lopez? And I think you're looking more at option A. You know, and he went in there against a guy like Devin Haney, and, you know, Haney schooled him.
Yeah, that was a paint job. He just put a paint job on with that jab. You know, and people say, well, it wasn't that exciting of a fight, but, hey, it's boxing. Your job is to get past that jab and do some damage. You just couldn't do it. To me, that was the story of the fight.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And we're going to start off our upcoming matches with the Jesus fight of the week. You're going to like this guy's name. It's for a title, too, believe it or not. Jesus is fighting for a title. Okay, this one's coming to us from Argentina, DirecTV. It's actually in Chile. It's a main event, flyweight title. The WBO Latino flyweight title. Andres Campos is coming in undefeated at 12-0 against Jesus Silvestre, who is 37-7. I bet you Sylvester Stallone looked like him. Silvestre. Just Sylvester spelled with the R-E switched. At the end. Silvestre is 37-7. So, undefeated Andres Campos, 12-0 against 37-7. Walking in water, Jesus Silvestre. Good luck to Jesus on that one. May need it. What else we got? Dominican Republic fights in Estonia. Fiji. I wouldn't think the people in Fiji would want to fight it so beautiful down there. Nothing very good, but there's a lot of fights going on this weekend. Ooh. It's not really our mismatch of the week, but I'm going to mention this cruiserweight fight. Tehran Metz here. He is 17-4-5. I believe they think that he needs a win because we're putting him in against this guy Rida Amine, who is 1-23. Oh, he has the worst record on the card. 1-23. The guy needs to simply win. Oh, not Daniel LaRusso, but Alessio LaRusso is in action in Italy on Saturday. the only fight on the card. Super bantamweights. LaRusso is 17-4-2, fighting Spartak Shengilia, who is 4-13 with one draw. I think LaRusso's going to win. I don't think he's going to have to use the crane kick either. Then we got some fights in Kazakhstan that are pretty interesting. We got Bekman Soylibayev, who is 13-1, fighting Thomas Rojas, who has a crazy record of 52 wins, 20 losses, and one draw. Experience over youth, it looks like. Co-main event, middleweights. That was a super featherweight fight. Middleweights, Myrim Nursultanov. He is undefeated, 16-0, fighting Sebastian Horacio Papeshi, who is 18-3. That's for the WBO International Middleweight title. Absolutely nothing worth mentioning. Matches of the week candidates. This is a perfect match of the week. This is a loser leaves town fight if I ever saw it. Only fight on the card too in Slovakia. Kesmarok, Slovakia. We got super middleweights Michael Gazdik, who is 6-23, fighting Pavel Garage. G-A-R-A-J. Garage. Pavel Garage. He is 7-31 with 3 draws. Both of them have lost their last 6. So somebody has to win this one. And the other guy has to leave boxing. Ouch. Craziness. And we got some fights over in the United Kingdom. Got that guy Jamie Quinn in action again. He's 9-131-2, fighting 3-0 Lewis Frimpong. Then we got Lewis Van Poach. He is 10-147-3, fighting Timon Duglin, who is just 1-0. Main event's actually kind of good. Super middleweights William Weber 8-1, and Chris Davies, who is 16-0 for the vacant BBBOC Southern Area super middleweight title. Some better fights, also in the UK, but on Sky and Wembley. We got a cruiserweight matchup between Richard Riakporé, 14-0, and Fabio Turchi, who was 20-1. There goes our Fabio fight of the week. We're going to have to find that one. Co-main event, Jermaine Brown. He is 12-0, fighting Zach Chelly, who's 11-1-1. That's for the English super middleweight title. And then maybe this guy's related to Czech. I believe Czech's from that area, the UK somewhere. Welterweight, Chris Kongo. Kongo. He is 13-1, fighting Sebastian Formella, who is 23-2. Which is stuck right in the middle of this card. That one's for the vacant WBC International Silver Welterweight title. Oh, this is great. There's a super welterweight card, or fight on undercard. 19-0 against TBA. 19-0 guy is named Joe Pigford. That's a good one.
I mean, and you got to be careful with that TBA because you don't have a good scouting report on them.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what your record is.
Alright, we're going to go with another one for our mismatch of the week. Even though the guy's only 6-2 that he's fighting, it's a middleweight starter fight. It's going to start off the card, looks like. 6-2 Mano Lee at middleweight, fighting Callum Ide. IDE. Callum is unfortunately 0-2 and 32 with 2 draws.
Wow.
Ouch. The main event is actually a 6-2 guy as well, Jason Sillett, but his opponent has 1 win. Mwenya Chisanga. He is 1-10 with 1 draw. Lots of opponents over there in the UK. Keeping busy. Keeping themselves busy. Alright, so DAZN has the big card of the weekend, or one of them. There's another one. And a couple good fights too. There was one fight card was just all titles. Miami, that's not even on TV. But anyway. Jamie Munguia fighting Jimmy Kilrain Kelly. That's the big one on DAZN. It's a super middleweight. Munguia looking for win number 40. Jimmy Kelly looking for win number 27, but he's got 2 losses, and one of them has been in his last 6 fights. But might be a good one. Let's check that out. Oscar Duarte Gerardo in the co-main event at lightweight. He is 22-1-1, fighting Mark Bernaldez, 23-5. Then we got welterweights Evan Anthony Sanchez, 11-0, fighting Carlos Ortiz Cervantes, who is 12-5. And then we got this one in Florida. Boy, at least 50% of the card here. More than that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6, 7, 5 out of 8 fights for some kind of titles. This is in Miami, Florida. Heavyweights in the main event. Trevor Bryan, 22-0, fighting Daniel Dubois, who is 17-1. And that one's for the WBA World Heavyweight title. So we could have a world titleist from the United States. That's why it's so big, I guess. It's drawing a lot of people. Another heavyweight co-main event. Dakari Scott is not fighting for a title. He is 7-0 against Jonathan Guidry. I don't know. 17-1 as well, but he has 2 draws. And we got the light heavyweight, vacant NABA light heavyweight title on the line, and these guys got some great records, boy. Ahmed Elbiali, 21-1, fighting Dervin Colina, who is 16-1. And we got cruiserweights. So far, all the upper echelon guys here. This one's for a title 2, NABA cruiserweight title. Johnny Langston, 10-3 against Isaiah Thompson, who is 6-1-1. You got welterweights Trayshawn Wiggins, 13-5-3 against Travis Castellon. He is 17-4-1. That one's for the NABA welterweight title. And we got the big one, as in long, big one. Ian Green, 15-2, fighting Anthony Lenk, who is 17-8. This one's for the vacant World Boxing Association Continental Americas middleweight title. Just a couple more, but the other ones aren't title fights to start off tonight. All right, man, we got our Fidel fight of the week here too. This is kind of funny. From Atlanta, Georgia, Alfredo Angulo, 26-8 at super middleweight, fighting Fidel Monterosa Munoz, who is 40-29-1. Then we got a heavyweight.
I gotta wonder if this is, the swan song for Angola. I mean, he's been around a while, and as exciting as he was, taking some punishment in the last, few fights, few years.
Oh yeah. Co-main event's interesting here too. Heavyweights Rafael Akpagiori. He is 13-0, fighting Terrell Jamal Woods, who is 28-51-9. But he's won the last 4 out of his last 6. So Terrell Jamal Woods. It's that thing that Tom always says, that's no cheap date. That's a lot of experience. We'll see if he comes to fight. Or if he's just been fighting a bunch of stool pigeons there. Guys from the bus station. Oh, we got Skowhegan Maine fights. What am I doing? I should be on my way to Maine. Good main events here. Wow, UBO Intercontinental Welterweight title here. Brandon Berry at welterweight, 23-6-2, fighting Juan Manuel Witt, who is undefeated, 33-0-2. Wow, that should be for a little bit more or less obscure title, you would think. But then we got another 0-something fighter, Jader Alves de Oliveira, who is the support fight. He is 0-14 at welterweight, fighting Thomas Blumenfeld, who is sounds like he has a better name for a banker or a lawyer than a fighter. Yes, making his debut as a professional there on an undercard of a title fight. That's crazy. Skowhegan, Maine, the Skowhegan Community Center. That's probably really far from where my girlfriend was, but it's kind of funny. Just went back to Maine last Sunday. Pretty crazy up there. I didn't get to see my golden retriever buddy though. He was at the in-laws, I guess. He was
It was funny. I was looking at my Facebook memories today, and it was a couple years ago today. Right after I had gotten my new police outfit, went up to a minor league game, met some friends of mine there, didn't know it was Bark at the Park night, and so I see this person here with a German Shepherd, and this person with a poodle or whatever it was, and a bulldog over here, and whatever. So I'm in there, I'm talking to my friends. Here walk by a golden retriever. I'm like, oh my God, gotta say hi to this dog, and can I say hi to your dog? They said, we were going to ask if you would take a picture with him. Can I? Really? Oh, yeah, I'm like the one. So, and dogs are smart. Dogs can know a dog person very quickly, especially like your larger breed dogs, your shepherds, your retrievers. Later, so this dog comes right over to me, we take a photo. Later, I'm at a section by like one stand, and the dog was walking by, and I hear him say, Max, look, there's your buddy. The dog sees me. It actually stood up on the railing because it saw me, because it knew that I was a dog person. So now, here's a story of how dumbing down we are, the youth of America. These kids want $15 an hour. They don't deserve 15 cents an hour. I'm in line to get food. Concession stand. Trying to get some chicken fingers, a soda or beer or whatever I was getting. I'm standing there, and whatever I was getting came to, say, $15.50. So I have a $20 bill and a $1 bill. Basically, so that way you can give me a $5 bill back and your 2 quarters. I look at the kid, I said, here's a 20 and here's a 1 to make it easier for you. I'm not allowed to accept tips. Good, I wasn't giving you one. I was thinking, so you can give me a $5 bill back. He looks at me like I just spoke Swahili. So now, as we're going over this exchange on the difference between 4 $1 bills and a $5 bill, I see a couple walking in with a 3-month-old golden retriever puppy.
Aww.
And I'm like, kid, can you give me my $5 bill and hurry the hell up, because I got to go pet this dog. Give me the goddamn $5 bill and my goddamn chicken fingers. So now, someone could have, put dog shit in my chicken fingers because I wasn't paying attention. I was like, excuse me, can I say hi to your puppy? They're like, you want to hold him? I threw my chicken fingers on like some random shelf somewhere, and I'm like, or some random couch. I'm like, yeah, sure. Like I said, hey, let's go fuck with the Uncle Sam guy. Let's put bird shit in his chicken fingers. No, he's not looking. I didn't give a shit. I was holding this puppy. But that was my pictures that came up on Facebook memories today.
Nice.
I was looking at something else too, and it's like, you're right, because dog people know dog people. Like, when we would always walk around the neighborhood, we would get to know some of the local dogs, my dad and I, and my dad would always carry treats to them. So would I, for the most part. And these dogs know the nice dogs. If you come over and say, people come give your dog a treat, yeah, sure, we'll give the dog a little biscuit. Now we walk our friend's dog, and this dog has allergies. So she has trouble digesting, and hopefully she grows out of it, white meats, like chicken and pork. So anything beef-based, she's usually fine with. Anything fish-based, she's usually fine with. But if you give her any type of treats that have chicken in them, she'll get diarrhea. So we don't carry treats like we used to. There's two dogs that this woman walks in the neighborhood. When these dogs see me, they will not stop moving. They won't walk until I catch up to them. Yeah. And then they run up to me like all excited. I'm like, guys, I don't have treats anymore. I'm sorry. And it's like telling a kid there's no Easter bunny. Like, they look on their faces, they're like, oh, there's no treat. Sorry, guys. And then I have to give this other shithead one, and next thing I know, she'll be shitting all over the house.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Well, we got Edgar Berlanga as well fighting this weekend at Madison Square Garden, leading the card here at super middleweight. I don't know why. This has got to be on ESPN. It's just not showing. I don't know why this wouldn't be on ESPN. That's usually the network Berlanga fights on, so I don't know. It just doesn't have any TV, but I would think it's got to be on ESPN on Saturday somewhere. I don't know if it's on ESPN Plus. But super middleweights, Edgar Berlanga, 19-0, looking for big win number 20 against a Romer Alexis Angulo. Another Angulo fighting this weekend. He is 27-2. This one's
Rick,
for the
while you're on the schedule right now, has Berlanga had any knockout since he lost his first round knockout streak?
No, he's had 3 straight unanimous decisions. Demon Nicholson, Marcelo Esteban Caceres, and Steve Rose. Romer has 2 losses, though. Let's check his record out. Who has he lost to? Romer. I gotta love that name. He's a Romer. He's from Colombia. He's been Roman. Yeah, only been knocked out once. That was David Benavidez, who was undefeated at the time, 22-0.
Well, that's no shame in that.
Gilberto Ramirez before that, 37-0. That's going to be a good one. He's beat a couple good guys, too. Unfortunately, he's coming off kind of a journeyman fight. 17-10, Carlos Galvin. Before Benavidez took care of him, he had 3 straight wins. 2 of them were knockouts. Anthony Sims Jr., he got a split decision win against, who was 20-0 at the time. He went to $185 and TKO'd Javier Gomez Rueda, who was 21-15. That was a first round TKO. And it took him four rounds to take out another undefeated fighter. Reynaldo Gonzalez was 12-0. Knocked him out in 4. And let's see, before Gilberto took care of him by unanimous decision, he knocked out a couple fighters. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row. But not spectacular names or big records. One of them was 2-33. That's pretty bad. And he messed with the Zoltan. He beat Zoltan Pap by knockout. It was 11-2 with 1 draw. So yeah, I'm gonna say that Romer's gonna have a tough time with this one. Tough time. But he is capable of surprising. Definitely. Looking at this other guy too. The main fight This guy Brandon Berry, I think, is going to have a really good shot, even though he has more. The other guy's technically undefeated, but I looked at his record, and it's like almost all in his home country against nobodies. Brandon Berry looks like he's had better competition. He's fought in the United States before, but no huge names either. Ooh, he lost to a guy who was 0-5 too. I don't know, might be a toss-up. But the records look better. They really are. Alright, super featherweights in the co-main event of the Berlanga fight at Madison Square Garden. That one's for a title. Vacant World Boxing Organization Latino super featherweight title. Luis Lebron, 18-3 with one draw, fighting Henry Lebron. Wait a second. 15-0. These two brothers, spelled exactly the same. LeBron versus LeBron. I guess they're going to use their first name, Luis and Henry, to keep them separated. You know, so. Carlos Caraballo at super bantamweight, 15-1, fighting Victor Santillan, who is 11-0. That ought to be a good one. And then Pablo Cruz, Tom Cruise's younger brother? No. CRUZ. This featherweight, 22-4 with one draw, fighting Orlando Gonzalez Ruiz, who's 17-1. And then we got Josue Vargas, super lightweight. He is 20 wins, 2 losses, fighting Dakota Linger, who is 12-5-3. And I guess Josue takes that one because Dakota Linger has had one draw and 4 losses in his last 6, so he's only won 1 of those last 6. And Vargas has won all but 1 of his last 6. Oh, how about this guy? I'm not even sure who he's fighting on Saturday, but it's in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and it's a heavyweight fight. This guy comes with his own bank account and law firm, I think. Cleveland Billingsley III. A heavyweight. He is 3-7, fighting TBA. TBA 4-rounder. Cleveland Billingsley III. That just sounds rich. They're like, hey, what do you do? He's like, I'm a boxer. Like, what? Don't you come from a large fortune? Sorry. Alright. I guess that's about it. We got another one, loser leaves town type, in Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's pretty much the whole card is a loser leaves town. There's only 2 fights. We got lightweights, Guadalupe Jimenez. He is 6-6 with 1 draw, fighting Enrique Uvalle, who is 0-1. And then you got, this one's for a title. Oh, this is ugly. The USA Wisconsin State Super Welterweight title between Antoine Ellerson, 5-28 with 3 draws, fighting Justin Gauthier, who is 1-13. You gotta feel bad for the boxing talent in Wisconsin if these two are fighting for the state title. I guess we need to go to Wisconsin and find the next world heavyweight champion. Man, we need some help out there. We need to send Iceman up there to Wisconsin to train some of these fools. Alright, Henry Lebron, he is from Puerto Rico. Now let's see where Luis Lebron is from. If he's from Puerto Rico, we got some brothers in action here. Henry's got 10 knockouts to go with his 15 wins. Luis has 11 knockouts. Oh, they're both from Puerto Rico. Uh-oh. Popeye is Luis's nickname. Popeye. Lebron. That is wild. I'm going to have to look into that. Brother versus brother. Or cousin versus cousin. Who knows? Looks like they're related, though. Let's see. Birthplace. Rio Piedras, Puerto Rico. Let's see if Henry's born in the same place. Oh, different place. Mocha, Puerto Rico. With the cousins. Oh, his birth name was Henry LeBron Gonzalez. Maybe they're brothers from another mother. Well, we'll find out. Alright, I guess that's it for me. Till next week.
Okay. Well, you know where to find me.
Oh, let me just see if we're missing anything big in the headlines tonight before we go. Got my Google alerts. Check out here real quick. We might be breaking some news. Come on, Google. Boxing Hall of Fame weekend. We already talked about that. Uh-oh. Unified Bantamweight champion Naya Inoue's home was burglarized during the Nonito Donaire fight. Well, that's scummy.
Oh, that sucks.
I wonder if it was like a professional burglary team that like came specifically for the fight. Oh, that's nuts.
Well, they knew it has to be him. They don't be at the fight.
Right? White says put MMA in the Olympics to get more viewers. Whatever, Dana White. Shut up. I'd like to see it there, but he's not the guy I'd like to see promoting it to get there. Oh, let's see, wrestling. What do we got on the wrestling stage? Nothing much. Nothing much. Alright, I guess that's it. There is one other story. Paige Van Zant is now going into wrestling. She had a little interview with this guy. Calls himself the Schmo. Have you seen this guy, Tony? He thinks he's a wrestling character himself. He does interviews, the Schmo. He talked with Paige after her debut in AEW, which was a tag team match. And she's going to have a solo match next. This was in Las Vegas last Sunday. But she's feeling good about it. She's still doing the bare knuckle, too. But I think she's retiring from MMA. We'll see. But anyway, only 28 years old. I believe she's probably still making more money off Instagram than anything. Unreal. But yeah, good on her. Finding a place to go. Wasn't doing too good with the MMA. She kept having some real struggles in the cage, but wrestling definitely seems to suit her. She's a diva type character for sure. Alright, I guess that's it for us. Thanks for stopping by.
Alright. Alright, till next week, gentlemen. Tornado was out.
Win the money.